Students, welcome back to the YouTube channel of Venus Public School. Today we are going to continue with our revision of chapter 3 of class 7, which is state or structure of matter. Yesterday we have discussed the differences. Yesterday we have discussed what are compounds, and today we have to understand. Yesterday we have discussed compounds, mixtures also. We also discussed differences between compounds and mixtures, and today we have to discuss symbols, formulas and chemical equations. Okay, so basically what is the difference between all three: symbols, formulas and chemical equations? Symbols are basically the representation of elements. Clear? Formulas are basically the representation of compounds and the reaction through which symbols converted into formulas, compounds, elements converted into compounds, and uh, reaction between different compounds or different compounds and elements will be represented with the help of chemical equation. So let us understand and let us see what are symbols first of all. So symbols are basically abbreviation of one or two letters long. Clear? So there would be only either one or maximum two letters would be there while we are representing an element. Clear? So so who have decided all these things? There is an institution, worldwide international institution, which is the abbreviation of which is IUPAC, IUPAC. Okay, and the full form is International Union of Pure and Applied Chemistry. And so they have decided, they have decided all the elements which till now we have found the elements are represented in the form of symbols, with the help of symbols. Okay, now let us see what are the rules which they keep in their minds while they are assigning symbols to the elements. Okay, so rule number 1, which says uh, the symbol would be the first letter in capitals of that particular element. Okay, whatever be the name of that element would be represented, the first letter of that name would be represented as the symbol of that element. And yes, and it would always be capital. Okay, so for example, hydrogen, H in capitals would be representing hydrogen, O would be representing oxygen, C for carbon, and B for boron. Clear? So this is the first rule which we need to keep in our mind, that while we are assigning a symbol to any particular element, we have to make the first capital letter, the first letter of that element would be its symbol. Second point which we need to keep in our mind is uh, the second law says, if in out of because there are many elements which will be starting with the same alphabet. So if there are the elements which are starting with same alphabets, their second letter would also be considered as its symbol. So like aluminium, in aluminium, Al would be considered as aluminium as the symbol. Argon, because aluminium and argon both starting with A, and if and we cannot give both the elements a same symbol, capital A. So what we did is we include the second letter also in the symbol, like aluminium, Al representing aluminium, argon represented Ar. Okay, so barium and boron both starting with B, so we cannot give them only B. So boron is B and barium is Ba. Clear? So this is the second law. And the third law is, there are a few elements which have got their names from their Latin names. Clear? From their Latin names. Clear? Like copper have got its common name copper from its Latin name cuprum. Clear? So we have taken Cu, not Co. Copper is English word or common name, so we have not considered Co as symbol of copper. We have taken first two letters of its Latin name as its symbol. Clear? So Cu, Prum, cuprum, Cu, Kalium, Ka as potassium, and ferrum, Fe as iron, and Au, aurum as gold. Clear? So these are the common names: copper, potassium, iron, which are very commonly known to everyone, and these are Latin names. Clear? Which is less common among the peoples. So, and the symbols are given on the basis of these Latin names. So this is how we are able to provide symbols to all the available elements so far. Clear? Now let us try. Let us understand what are formulas. Formulas are basically chemical representation of compound using chemical symbols of its constituent elements. Formula. Okay. So as we have, I have already told you, formulas are the representation of the substances which are around us, because the elements out of which all the substances are made is already like represented by symbols. Clear? If it is a pure element like gold, a ring made up of gold, so ring is a substance, clear, which we can see, feel, touch. So that substance is made up of gold, but gold is just gold, like it is an element. So the representation of gold is just Au. Okay, but if I'll talk you if we will talk about water, so water is H2O. Okay, it is a combination of two elements, it is a compound. Clear? So we need to represent water as a formula, not as a symbol. Clear? So this formula, what is this formula? So it is basically a representation of compound. Okay, it is clearly mentioned here, like we have discussed. Symbols are the representation of elements, whereas formulas are the representation of chemical representation of compounds. Clear? And this compound consists of its constituent elements. So like here we have discussed few examples: water H2O, calcium carbonate CaCO3. So in this, calcium, carbon and oxygen. Clear? In a definite proportion it is there, so it forms a compound. It is, these three elements are chemically combined, and when they are chemically combined, we have to write a formula which have all its constituent elements. Clear? Like calcium, carbon and oxygen. Clear? But their proportions are different or fixed. Clear? Common salt, sodium chloride, NaCl. Clear? Nitric acid, HNO3, hydrochloric acid, HCl, methane, CH4, carbon dioxide, CO2. These are the examples of formulas. Okay, now we need to understand what are valencies. So we need to now we are going to learn how formula is made. So to learn this, first of all we need to understand what are valencies. Clear? So valencies are basically the combining capacity of an atom or an atom of an element or ion. Clear? Like let us take an example of H2O. Okay, so hydrogen and oxygen, they used to combine together. Clear? But how this proportion is decided, that two molecules of or two atoms of hydrogen would be included or combined with one atom of oxygen, and thus they form one molecule of water. Clear? Clear? How this is decided? So this is based on the valency of elements. Clear? Like here we are talking about H2O. Okay, so hydrogen and oxygen having two valency. Okay, so it has two vacant places. Clear? And hydrogen is having only one vacant place. Okay, or one electron in excess. It is oxygen requires two electrons to complete its stable state all the time. Clear? Its valency, O2 is the valency of oxygen. Clear? Whereas hydrogen is having only one valency. Okay, that means like for any substance to be in stable state, okay, needs to complete its duet or octet. Clear? What is the meaning of duet? That means two electrons must be there in the shell in its orbit, and then it would be in a stable state. Clear? Or it must have 8 electrons in its outermost shell, so that it would acquire a stable state. Clear? Stable state. Thus what happens here, as it is having one in excess and it is having two deficiency, so two hydrogen atoms satisfied the deficiency of one oxygen atom, so that's why it becomes H2O. That means two hydrogen atom provide one element from their side, and one oxygen atom which is diatomic, so it took one electrons from hydrogen, thus they form water, and they combines together chemically, and the new substance having different property from its constituent elements, thus a compound is formed. So everything, so each and every element used to combine with each other on the basis of their valencies. So what are valencies? Valencies are the combining capacity of an atom, clear, of an element, atom or ion of an element, clear. Now how we can write the formula? So it is very simple way, like first of all we need to know what are the valencies, what are the atomic numbers, and after that what are the valencies of each and every element present so far, clear. For this, for example, in this, hydrogen is having one valency, chlorine is having two valency, clear. So first of all we need to write the symbols. How we can write a formula? Step number 1, writing the symbols. Just beneath the symbols their respective valencies, like hydrogen is having one valency and chlorine is having two valency, clear. And then cross the valencies and write them with the crossed symbols, like what is it? Clear. So here we have crossed it HCl, clear. So it becomes HCl. Here C4Cl1. So when we crossed it, so C along with 1 C and Cl along with 4, okay, CCl4. Similarly Mg2 magnesium 2 oxygen 2, okay, when we crossed it Mg2O2. So in common we can write 2 MgO, clear. And Ca2OH1, when we crossed it Ca1OH2, clear, CaOH whole twice. So this is how these chemical formulas can be made, clear. Now after that the next topic is atomicity. What is atomicity? Basically atomicity is telling us about the number of atoms of a particular element present in a compound, clear, or in a free state of its element, clear. Like, getting it? What is atomicity? Atomicity is the number of is telling us or help us to understand or know the number of atoms present in either in free state, if it is an element in free state, how many atoms are there in that particular element or one molecule of element, or if it is combined with the other, and it is in a stable state in the combination of other elements, or that means it forms a compound, then in the compound, in the state of compound, what are the number of atoms present in that particular amount of for a particular element. Like in this atomicity of, so there could be of many type, atomicity could be of many type. One atom would be called as monoatomic, two atom would be called as diatomic, three atom could be called as triatomic and tetraatomic, okay. So these are the names which are given to the elements on the basis of their atomicities, okay, or like in stable state how many atoms they are having in their molecules, clear. So helium, sodium, potassium are monoatomic, clear. Here hydrogen, oxygen, chlorine, they are diatomic in free state, clear. O3, that means triatomic. Ozone, O3 is ozone layer, ozone is triatomic. P4, okay. So potassium 4 is tetraatomic, potassium 4 is tetraatomic, clear. Like H2O, in H2O the atomicity of hydrogen is 2, that is diatomic state, and atomicity of oxygen is 1 in this stable compound, clear. So this is how we can use atomicity, or we can tell atomicity of a particular element in the form of element or a compound, clear. When we are talking about element, they would be stable, like in both the cases, the if it is in free state, if it is available in the free state, like oxygen in free state is always diatomic, chlorine is always diatomic in free state, okay. But when they form compound with the other elements, their atomicities will be changed, and like in this case atomicity of oxygen in this compound is 1, clear. So this is how atomicity related to each other. After that we have to learn what is chemical equation. As I told you, elements are represented with symbols, compounds are represented with formulas, and the chemical reactions between elements and compounds, or compounds and compounds, or element and element will be represented through chemical equation. Clear? So tomorrow we will discuss the rest of the topics of this chapter.